welcome to Taking You Home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate. You can hear it every Thursday morning at 7:23. New time for Saturday now, 12:53 in the afternoon here on KNSI. Start that home search at VoigtJohnson.com. Brandon, you're back. Good morning, sir.
Good to see you.
Good to have you back. Okay, I like numbers. I like stats, and one of the best things that you did, we just talked about some of the stats, but that was on a statewide basis, right?
Sure.
Can we bring those numbers a little bit closer to home?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about central Minnesota, specifically 40-mile radius of St. Cloud. So on an annual basis, and we're in the heart of the spring, early summer market, so we've kind of got a pulse on what we've been experiencing, and does it match, and can you reconcile that with the actual data? So Minnesota Association of Realtor data year over year, from spring of 2023 to spring of 2024, new listings are up 20.3% in the St. Cloud area. So we're seeing more home sellers saying it's time to make that move. We've got different circumstances, lifestyle changes, regardless of interest rates, we need to move. And so we're seeing a good influx of homes come on the market. Pending sales, so sales activity have gone up nearly 8%. So 7.7% increase in the number of transactions from spring of 2024 versus the prior year. And closed sales is at 17.9%. So we are seeing more activity, more buyers having the opportunity in that entry-level price point, still multiple offers, but there's more options for buyers in this spring versus 2023.
Okay, I'm sitting on the fence. I can't decide. I've got the money. I don't know if what should I buy? What do I do? How do I make that decision?
Well, I think you gotta look at what your situation is. Is it the timing good for you?
Okay.
But I think that values are going to stay strong and increase if and when interest rates decline.
Okay, I talked to a lender like a week ago, 10 days ago, and she told me that apartment rental rates, like $1,600 a month. Yeah. That's a nice house payment, folks.
Yeah,
okay?
I remember this was early in COVID, and NAR came out with their projections.
Yeah.
This was 2021.
National Association of
Realtors, and this was on a national level. They projected, and they're great at forecasting. Lawrence Yune's a great economist.
Okay.
But we talked about this in our office meeting, and they projected that rents would increase in 2021 27%, and everyone that was insane.
Yeah, no way.
That was insane. And in 2021, national rents ended up going up almost 30%, and wow. they've steadily increased.
Sure.
And so to your point,
yeah.
Rents are more than a mortgage payment, even at 7-8% interest rates.
Okay, housing values are going up 5.5%.
Yes,
right? We saw that. We have the numbers that back that up.
Yep.
What do you get at the end of the year after you've paid all that rent? You get that little gold piece of paper, right? Your certificate of rent paid. That's all you get to show, right? For the money that you spent.
Yeah, so renting for certain situations is a good thing.
I rented for years.
But if you've got that permanent job, if you planted some roots down, home ownership from a investment standpoint, you're not going to go wrong, in my opinion.
I would say, 80, maybe 90% of your Fortune 500 billionaires
starts at real estate.
Exactly. Why is it so hard for people to understand that?
Well, I think it's a big deal.
It's a lot of money
especially when you're young.
Yeah.
It's a big commitment. There's a lot of unknown in that process, and that's where we really strive to do the education on what's involved in that process. But it can be overwhelming to a lot of people, especially first-time homebuyers.
Okay, we can probably bring these numbers a little closer to home now, right? If we look at this, what are we? The 7W, the Central Region.
Central Region in the state of Minnesota.
Okay.
So the median sales price has gone up from $335,000 to $340,000. So an increase of 1.5%. So even with the increase in rates that have ticked up here in the last few months, we're still seeing values hold steady and increase. And I would argue that if you go down in entry-level price points, you're seeing that appreciation level rise even more than that. Percent of list price is still roughly at 99% of the list price. And the days on market has actually gone down from 45 days to 42 days in that price point. Now, we talked on earlier, days on market, it can be very tricky because it's very price point dependent.
Exactly right.
It's very, like if you're under 250,000, I think the average days on market was like 13 days.
I recall very well, you could count on your house being on the market for 90 days.
Yeah,
right?
And that's still above 400 and 450,000. The average days on market's like 95, 96 days in the St. Cloud area. So it's really a two-tier system.
Can you explain why that is?
Supply and demand.
That's it, huh?
So the supply of buyers under 250, 275 far outweighs the inventory from a proportion standpoint that it does at 450, 500,000.
You know, you're going to sell your home that you're in, that you raise your kids in. Where are you going to go? You have to make darn sure you have that next home. It's part of the plan, right?
Yep, absolutely. And we have a process to get you navigate from point A to point B, because it can be a little overwhelming saying, okay, I've got to get my house sold because I need the proceeds to buy, but I don't want to put my home on the market till I find that perfect house. Meanwhile, you find the perfect house, now you're competing against non-contingent buyers, and you're not able to, make that happen. So we have processes designed to help you get from point A to point B and protect you where you're not selling your home and being homeless if you don't get that home, but having a buyer in place for your home if and when that perfect property comes on the market.
It can seem to be very overwhelming. That is why you work with the folks at VoigtJohnson Real Estate. Brandon, how do we do that?
Online at VoigtJohnson.com, or you can give us a call at 320-774-2400.
VoigtJohnson Real Estate. You can hear this show taking you home Thursdays at 7:23 in the morning, Saturday afternoon at 12:53. Brandon, thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
AM 1450, FM 99.3, KNSI.